Fun. As I said earlier, before we continue with some more drinks and snacks, we still have a couple interesting speakers for you, and we'll finish the day up with the last batch of middleweight track companies pitching. So, our next speaker is the CEO and co-founder of Russian Navigation Technologies. Founded in 2005, the firm has become the first Russian idea to IPO success story. Russia is a big player in our region's startup scene, and here to shed some more light on the subject, please welcome Ivan Nechaev, who will be joined on stage by Antti Vilpponen, co-founder and CEO of Arctic Startup. Come on stage, guys.
Here, all right. Okay, let's start off with a little bit of background into what Russian Navigation Technologies actually is and what you guys do.
Well, I can tell it simple way and the hard way. The simple way, when a fleet management business, we produce some onboard units, gather data from moving objects, and provide some client service showing them operation cost reduction, logistics, security, for example. That's the simple way. The hard way to explain what we are doing, because I'm doing it for the 13 years and the market is really changing within a year, is that all the human thing in changes. It's in human nature to understand the changes. If something goes steep, humans don't understand it. So what we do actually, we digitize changes and provide the solution for our clients to understand these changes.
Okay. So what was the story behind this? What led you to start the business?
Well, of course, I would like to say that I had it in mind in 2000 year, but actually I didn't. We started as a group of students on the base of the company, like Ruslan Communications, as a department. And we engineered software, hardware, and it took us like 5 years to understand what we're going to do in this market. In 2005, we got angel investments and split up as a separate company, already with some product, but not knowing what to do with it, because one of the major things that we do in our business, we gather data. And to gather data, you need cellular networks. And in 2005, it cost really a lot to get all the data from the vehicles. Then we started in Moscow, had a few successful clients for like 100 cars. For example, right now we operate on 200,000 vehicles, which makes us like 5th in Europe, 10th globally in the world. And made a few success projects. And we understood that we need money to grow the business from Moscow to the whole country. And then we do 2 VC rounds. After 2 VC rounds, the market started growing really quickly, and after 3 years, we made an IPO, where we told our investors that we're going to grow our business from just Russia side to a global business. So here we are now.
So, but let's, I think not many people know in general that there's a different sort of location-based system in Russia at play. It's not GPS. So how does this sort of technology sort of protect you when you were starting off your business in Russia, as opposed, say, from foreign companies? Because there were already companies who were doing something similar on GPS.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say, of course, we work with the Russian navigation system GLONASS, and actually most of the emerging markets require us to provide them with the GLONASS GPS solution together. But at the time we started, we didn't think about anything like protecting our technology. The thing that protects us is the business model, because European countries, America, which was actually founded this market, they use recurring revenue models. So they sell pretty simple products to their clients. What we do, we really integrate into our client's business. We do audit, we provide the solution, and we provide all the information how to implement this technology on the client side. When you sell something which is innovative, you need to adopt your client to understand the benefits, the value of the system you're providing to them. So having this experience is the best protection you're going to have on the market.
All right. What about, let's talk a little bit about money. When you were raising those investment rounds, what was the market like in Russia back then?
Well, the question was where to get money, because when in production business, you need to pay the manufacturers, you need to grow, and you need to pay in advance. We didn't have anything on our side besides the technology and a few guys with the brains. Nobody will give you any money for that. And at that time in Russia, we were lucky because all the government venture capital companies started. And we were like one of the first companies which managed to raise venture money. And everything that we were showing to our investors about the future. Hey guys, there are like 8 million of commercial vehicle in Russia. Imagine right now the penetration is below 1%. Imagine that we could do like 1% more. It makes us a great company. That's the main idea we were selling.
Okay. And how did the market change when you basically IPO'd on the Moscow Stock Exchange? Was it an easy decision to do?
Well, going public, I think it's not an easy decision to any companies because it changes everything. And we had a choice. Actually, we had a choice. We can go to the private equity, which is much more easy and cheaper for the company, or we could go public. But we needed a few things besides the money. That happens. First, we needed the publicity because we need to show to our clients, most of them are great corporations, huge corporations, billion corporations, that we're transparent, that they understand that we're a solution provider for long term. That's the first thing. The second thing, we're thinking about the emerging markets. And for the year, for example, we made our representative offices or solutions in 23 different countries. That's good. And we need to show to our foreign customers that we will stay on the markets, that we're also transparent, and that they could work with us. And the third thing, of course, money. So we decided to do an IPO. And it really changed a lot of things inside the company because you have to work with your investors. You have to speak with them all the time, and it's like 1/4 of my work to speak with the investors to understand where the market is going, to explain them.
Yeah. What was your market cap when you went public?
It was about, I just need to calculate from rubles to USD dollars, about 55 million.
Okay, and where is it today?
To the private equity, it's more than 55 million. To the stock market, it's less because we don't have a lot of tradings in the base. But private investors estimate us more than 80 million right now. And it's not the huge growth for us. What actually we did, we doubled our business each year starting from 2007, 2006, each year.
Okay, and when we had a little chat backstage, you said that it's not very common to do this sort of an IPO, but yet there are other companies on the Moscow Stock Exchange.
There are not too much of them, and it's a great opportunity for any company to go to the MySix to go public, to show the investors what they're actually doing and to protect their business. There are, I think, 5 or 6 more companies, but we need much more companies in this market to show the trades for the investors to be interested in buying and selling such companies, such venture companies.
Was the Moscow Stock Exchange the only stock exchange you were looking at or thinking about Europe as well?
For right now, or for that time.
Back then?
Back then, we actually didn't have a choice. Okay. Because we were really small for any other stock exchange market. But for right now, of course, we're thinking about it.
Okay, very good. And which countries do you operate currently? You've expanded since quite a lot.
The main business are still in Russia. We have like really good business in Formula USSR countries, and we have really good business in Latin America. It's a really interesting region. They have like really high prices. And Arabic region, South Africa, Practically all the emerging markets have the same value proposition for our systems. They're quite simple. Operation cost reduction. We give about 30 to 40% in operation cost reduction if you have any moving assets. So you buy out the system within 2 or 3 months. It's a good deal.
That's a good deal. Is there any reason why people, or sort of what's your competitive advantage over other providers of similar technologies?
If you compare it to the foreign providers, they usually work, like I said, as services. So they provide really simple solutions.
Right.
For us, going abroad is to find 1 or 2 big clients which want to have all the system in-house. And we're really good at it. Most of the biggest dispatching centers in Russia, all informers say, we did it. We have a good understanding how to provide this product to our client and how to manage them to really use it, really operate it. I think that is the most competitive advantage. The other thing is that in Europe, most of the moving assets, cars and vehicles are new. They have all this CAN interfaces, computers on board already. In Russia and other emerging countries, you can have like a really brand new vehicle, which would cost about 200,000 euros, and a really old one from 2000 years. And you need the system to work the same on the both vehicles. So we're really better adapted to the market and can provide better solution.
All right. You said also that, as you run this business, you start accumulating a lot of big data inside your systems. And I think that's something of an opportunity in the future, maybe for you or for the industry. Do you have any thoughts on this?
Well, I think that's the best place when there are a lot of brilliant guys, creative guys, to plant one idea into the mind. The idea is that when they age, when the telemetry is going to change our world, like internet did sometimes. And I think the world is going to change within 4 or 5 years. And the question is that there are a lot of devices which we all have, which stands some kind of data. And I don't think there are any company in the world right now which understands how to work with data, how to process it, how to make it valuable. And the bigger question is how to make synergy from the data you get from your home, from your car, from your devices, whatever, like a smart city. And there are a lot of this data. For example, we collect for doing the traffic within Russia. We were a traffic provider, like you see on the maps. Red one, you can go anywhere. Green one, you can go. So we collect about 100 million of points per day. That's a huge amount. That's more than a banking system have transactions within the day. And all this data, you cannot decide whether this part of the data is important or this one. And it must be processed backwards. For example, we want to know what happened 2 years ago and approximate it right to right now. So that is the question, how to process this data, how to do this data mining. And I think the whole world in telemetry is going to change. They're going to be platform providers, they're going to be hardware providers, and they're going to be service providers. But for us, we're thinking about to be a service provider, to understand how to make the data valuable to our clients. And it's really a big issue because how the market will change. Any startup company which understands how to use this data, how to process it, how to make a value proposition for a client can do really great business in this area.
Are there any other initiatives internationally that are doing something with this sort of navigational data?
Well, there are quite a lot. There are a lot of American companies, probably, European program which is called ECOL. It's like, I think in 2018, all the cars, new cars, will be equipped with a special device which detects emergency cases. And it's going to be how many? Like 50 million of onboard devices which are on the market. And besides providing the information about the emergency, it could provide a lot of other information, not only traffic. why do these cars go into the city, which is full of cargo, it goes backwards without the cargo. And actually, I think, like in year 2020, we will not own any car. You will go out, you will have a car, pick up any car you like, travel to the center of the city and leave it. There are already such projects, but I think that's going to be like all over the city. You don't need any car. I think in 2020 you will know the exact time when you're going to be in the center. I don't know how over here, but in Russia, when I stand up at 7 in the morning, I don't know how long it will take me to get to the center. It could be 20 minutes, it could be 2 hours, it could be 3 hours. So no planning. And you will know. There are a lot of things are going to come in our life.
All right, let's talk a little bit about Russia as a market. I think that's also a very interesting topic here. We've got the ladies and gents from Skolkovo, for example, here, and a lot of other Russian companies here. Why aren't there more Western companies in Russia and Russians elsewhere?
Well, what we see right now in Russia, that there are a lot of startups because of the Skolkovo, Russian venture company, Rosnano, BTBs, all these venture firms. They really provided a good ecosystem for the startups to grow. There are a lot of startups. For example, I, as a part of a venture fund, look through about 300 to 400 startups per year. It's quite the great amount.
Yeah.
And as far as I see, for Russian companies, it's really easy, for Russian startups, it's really easy to start in Russia because they understand all the specifics. For the Western company coming to the Russia, I think they should come when they have an operational business. Because for my opinion, for only my opinion, I think we are Russian, are great with the technology. We're really great with creativity, creating something, starting, but we're not so good in operational business when you need to just run the same operation every day. That's where the Western companies are good at. So that's going to be the synergy probably when the business is grown within the country and probably some big player all over the world comes into it, takes the operation.
How easy is it to raise funding in Russia at the moment?
For right now, I'm certainly sure that's much more easier than raise it over here or in America. I'm certainly sure about it.
So go east.
Yeah, but I'm sure that's not going to last for a long time. 2 or 3 years more probably. But right now, it's the best time.
Why is that?
Because when this venture market started, you need to teach the people, you need to bring or to teach new, I don't know, layer of guys, new layer of entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And for right now, they're kind of not weak, but they don't understand how it's done abroad. So they have some weakened standards, for example, as in America. Okay. They will grow within a few years, but right now is the best time, certainly.
So act fast. Do you have, I think we're running out of time here, but do you have any last sort of tips or pieces of advice? We just heard Pekka Viljakainen here up on stage give some thoughts to companies going to Russia, but from sort of your entrepreneurial point of view, any sort of obvious mistakes maybe to look out for?
Well, I usually say about 3 things. First thing, which I really think that's really important, that's vision and mission. That's the 2 things that most of the startups lack of. They usually understand how to run the business within a year, 2 years, 3 years, but nobody understands where the business is going to be in 10 years. So think about it. It's really important. The second thing, I think, just try. That's the best advice I can get.
All right, very good. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Nice.